てる感じがちょっとつながりにしてこっちから周りに渡って向こう。
Well, it took Toho some time to find their footing with producing a new series of Godzilla films, so Tanaka and Toho decided that maybe they should bring back a popular character. So they decided upon, of course, Godzilla's most famous rival, King Ghidorah, and thus produced Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah in 1991.
Well, this is the Tokyo Metropolitan Government building in Shinjuku, which gets completely trashed in Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. In fact, the whole area gets completely trashed. Every tower you see around here gets completely flattened. Well, being a government building and being the tallest building here in Shinjuku, it's the main center for tax in Japan. And it's the only time in a Godzilla movie where the Japanese audiences have actually cheered when a building has been destroyed.
I myself think that they pale compared to the Honda Tsuburaya films, but they were well-crafted films. They did bring Akira Ifukube out of retirement to score several films, and he wrote several beautiful scores for those pictures.
たくさんゴジラをやりました。で最後のデストロイヤーというのでいよいよ今度はその40年経っておりますがゴジラが死ぬんだって今まであらゆる攻撃をしたけども死ななかったゴジラがなんか溶けて、死んでしまうんだというね。最後にゴジラ死ぬ時に、録音のメンバーもなんかやはり皆悲しい顔をしておりました。それは皆さんがそういう受け取りって自分の代行のような。
Godzilla hadn't really had a theatrical life outside Japan for quite some time. And I think eventually, having resisted the idea of selling the rights, Toho thought, well, why not? It's essentially a domestic franchise, so why not sell the foreign rights?
For me, it was always hard to kind of envision like a new Godzilla because I had so much like kind of burned in my mind, you know, like kind of the image of all the sequels of Godzilla. Where basically you see like two monsters, you know, fighting, like Godzilla versus a new creature, and I kind of never quite kind of understood that.
And we felt that if we were going to have a rebirth of Godzilla, that we needed to start from the beginning and not have a movie where Godzilla is the savior of the world and battling other creatures, but rather to introduce the creature in very much the way the very first Godzilla movie was made.
Both Dean and I kind of really said, that's the model. That's the model. We go back to Godzilla comes to a town.
I think where we differ from the original Godzilla movie is that it all comes from the design of the creature and hence his abilities.
My first reaction was, well, this thing is designed already. What do you want me to do? I mean, I don't think I can change it. And he said, well, listen, I want to make this creature quicker, more agile, faster. Go to work. I knew he didn't want me to take an iguana and blow it up to 250 feet tall. We don't want to do that. I still wanted the creature to have something special. It's very anthropomorphic, for example. You look at his torso, his arms, and it's very much human in aspect. There's no lizard looking that way. This mix of different things is typical to the tradition of dragons in Japan as well. It's like mixing cat elements with lizard, with birds element together and creating a dragon.
We worked up the pitch of what our story was, and we went to Japan, and we told them what we wanted to do story-wise. We showed them the new design, and we basically felt that if they had any reservations, we simply wouldn't do the picture.
And then the time came to show the creature, so I unveiled the creature, and the first reaction was like, nothing. And no smile, nothing. They were kind of saying, And at that very moment, I realized that maybe I've changed the creature too much. Maybe we went too far. They're not going to go for it.
Much to our surprise, they really embraced it. In fact, one of the gentlemen from Toho said that if they had had the special effects technology that we have today, they might have altered the design of the original creature to be more like this one.
These days it's totally different because everything is done pretty much like in the computer. We still shoot model elements, we still shoot some stuff, you know, with film cameras, but it gets less and less with every movie.
We were shooting what are called background plates, and they are empty shots where Roland would direct the camera, oh yes, he's moving here, he's going around that corner there, he's stepping over us here.
We would shoot a scene in New York, people would run away from a building, and prop machines would drop a lot of debris out of the sky, but nothing else was there. Later, the effects people would have to animate the creature into that scene.
You are having to put life into something that's computer generated. You're having to make it move and look realistic, to have characteristics that people could relate to as a living thing. That is passed on to the compositing department, and it's the compositor's job to make that animal really look like it's in the scene.
Here you see the actual plate where animal reacts to nothing. And the original CG foot element, this element is the mat, which we use as a cookie cutter to lift it off the background and put it into the scene. These are the crushing cabs. These are real full-scale cabs with a 12,000-pound metal weight being dropped on them. The first thing you'll see is the clean plate with the foot entering in. Add the shadow, start adding some of these green screen cabs. And finally, when the foot comes down, you'll see the cracks and the splash and all the debris.
時代とともにもうどんどんそのテクニックが技術がこう進歩してきてるでしょ。コンピューターグラフィックスなんか使ってね。非常にそういう意味ではもうなんていうのかな、もうリアルすぎるぐらいリアルすぎてね。その辺のところがなんかちょっとあまりにも昔のそういう映画と比べてちょっと夢がなくなってきてるんじゃないかなっていうのはまあ気が、しないでもないんですけどね。
ただ名前がゴジラっていう名前であってジュラシックパークで僕はいいと思うんです。だから名前音がそうでしょ。ゴジラのウェーっていうね音が、それはねゴジラの声なんですよ。だからジュラシックパークには声がなかったでしょ。だからやっぱりそのフェイスがゴジラのフェイスじゃないけれども、
ですから全然違う、ゴジラだというふうな解釈でみんな許容してると思うんですよ。で僕もそういうゴジラが国によってね、日本ではこういうゴジラでアメリカではああいうゴジラと、あるいは英国へ行った場合には今度こんなゴジラというふうのがね。
ですからモンスターっていうものに対する日本人のこの何ですか気の入れようはどうしてもアイドルとか仲間に知らないと気が済まないんですね。外国みたいに対する方、対する神様という考え方はないですから日本人は。八百万の神でこれだってなんだって神様がいると思っちゃうわけですよ。そういうとこはね違うんだと思うんですけどね。
Godzilla really is like a great cipher. You know, he doesn't change and you can project upon him anything.
僕は大体こういう SF とかゴジラ映画、ああいうものの中ではあくまでもゴジラが主役で、そして見てる人はゴジラが出てこないとそれを楽しみに終わってるんですからね。
One hopes there is always the same reliable death-dealing, fire-breathing mutant dinosaur, you know, and so the creatives just have fun in the foreground with the humans and leave Godzilla to his own devices.
Bill Bailey has more Monster Wars in a few moments on BBC Two, followed by Leon Herring's Scary Monsters at 10.